Welcome back to Wardle Road. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at some of the ways you can improve your couplings and some of the ways that wagons can sit together to stop possible derailments and wagon hooks locking with each other. Other videos I've got coming up as well. I've got the Chiltern exhibition on this Saturday, which I'll be attending, so I'll do a video on that. I'm also going to be doing a video on installing a third rail and maybe a fourth rail as well, dependent on what happens with a guy I'm speaking to about making some O gauge C or D class London Underground trains. So that's all I've got to update you guys on at the moment, but let's get into looking at some couplings. Right, so we're over the workbench now. I've got a few wagons in front of me here. Some I've started doing some test couplings on already to see how they look, and hopefully, as you'll see throughout the video, that it's definitely beneficial to do this if you want to add that little bit of extra detail. So to start with, one of the problems I found, and a lot of other people on the Facebook forums found as well, was that when you're going from, so this is a Dapple clay wagon, and you've got a Hornby 4-plank coal truck here, and when the two locos are coming together, sometimes the locos won't couple together because there's the different size couplings, and other times you get it where the pieces would the hooks would cross over and they wouldn't sit right, and if you're going around a corner, sometimes both pins wouldn't go into the holes, and then you'd have derailments. So the first suggestion was to remove the hook and just have it so the dapole hook sits just into the Hornby one, like so. And that allows for movements around any corner without the slightest possibility of a derailment. But of course, that does fix it. However, I wanted to go a little bit more detailed in my modelling, especially as I'll be pulling I've got an LNER steam train, which is going to be pulling sort of a rake of coal coaches, and I've got I think about 12 box vans as well that I'm going to put these couplings on. But so yeah, what I'm going to do is try and get this from this to this. So the couplings I'm going to be using are made by Hornby, and I'll put the part number up on the screen now so you can see them there. They're unfortunately a little bit pricey. They come in at £5 for 4, which obviously 2 per wagon is enough to do 2 wagons. So I've ordered enough here for 4 wagons. So that's 2 packs of them. So if I want to do the rest of the fleet, it's going to add up a little bit. However, I definitely feel that in the long run, the detail side of it is it's going to look a lot better having these with the buffers going up to each other rather than these big plastic metal hooks. Nothing wrong with them, but just not my preference for my layout. So, simple enough, the first thing you need to do is to turn it over and remove the frames and the coupling hooks from the old Hornby couplings. These come off really easily actually. Little screw, take them off there. Currently on the Hornby moulds, they have got hooks at the end of each wagon, there and there. You can see it's got one just there. I don't know if you can see at the camera angle. They've got one right bang in the middle there. And while they look nice, they don't sit too well, I found, with these Hornby couplings, because as the couplings sit together, as you can see, the Hornby couplings are much larger, got a much larger hook. So if there's any slight bumps or dinks in your track, then you find that these hooks don't sit on for very long at all. So what you're going to want to do, get some of your track cutters or flat snips, and you just want to snip off the hook. Very simple, just like that. Snip that one off on that side, snip that one off on that side, and then you're going to want to get a little knife and just make sure that area is nice and flat. You don't want to take away the frame that it sits on here. You want to keep that square box. You just want to level off on top of that square with the area that you've removed the hook from. So as you can see on this side here, you've got that little bump on top of the box, so I just need to remove that and make sure it's all nice and flat for the hook, otherwise you're going to have wonky couplings. Nobody wants that. Right, so as you can see, we've cleaned up the ends of each side of the wagon there. So what you're going to want to get now is, well, you probably go down as far as a 1, but for this I'm using a 1.5mm drill bit. Just going to put it into the drill. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get your wagon and place it gently in the vise without crushing, just so it stays where it is. You don't want to crush the wagon because obviously it's only made of plastic. Just gently, just so it's firm enough that if you drill into it, it's not going to move anywhere. And then you're just going to want to drill into the top center point. Just enough. So I only went in there about 5 mil, just enough that you can now add the chain link into that. But the next step, very simple. All you've got to do, I'm using Gorilla Glue for this. All you've got to do is a small dab of Gorilla Glue, like so. See there, just a little bit on the end. And then you're going to want to make sure you're going to get your chain link, making sure the hook is the right way up. And just gently slide it into the hole you've made, like that. And as I said earlier, if you feel like you don't like to use these chain links, or you want to go back to your old couplings, all you've got to do is turn it upside down and mount your old couplings to the bottom again. So you could even just use these as decoration. So that's that one done. So I'm now going to go around to the other side and do that. And once that's done, we'll go over to the railway and have a look what they look like. Now personally, I think that coupling there looks a lot neater. You haven't got any of that nasty plastic at the bottom. I think it gives it quite a nice finish. I think it gives it quite a nice finish, and as you can see, the buffers are a lot closer now, and it can also go up to the point where they touch as well, which adds a little bit more realism. So if we just move that forwards a little bit, and we'll couple up the one we just did. Like so. And as you can see, I think it looks really, really realistic. And I know it's a little bit pricey for £5 for only 2 wagons worth of couplings, but I'm really, really pleased with them actually. I think that's a nice little thing that I don't think many people know about these Hornby couplings. So let's send this off. If I just zoom out a little bit and pan down the train, I think you'll have to agree. I think that looks really, really good. So let's send it on its way. So as I showed you there was the 2 methods for fitting these Hornby couplings. I only found them by an off chance because I've been wanting to do chain link for a while, and struggling to find exactly the right chains that would fit between them and then how I would fix them. But I think Hornby's done really well actually. I know these have probably been out long before I even knew about them, but for those who didn't know, I thought this would be quite helpful. So that's it really. That's how to drill them in or how to glue them in, depending on whether you want to drill into your wagons or not. Some people prefer not to do anything to them. So there's two options there. I'm just going to leave you guys with some shots of the train with its new couplings on, and I might attach a couple more wagons to the back of it, because obviously if the wagon's got a hook, you can still hook it to one of the ones with the Hornby links anyway, which is good. And I think that's it for now. My next tutorial will be the power rail for the EMU, and then of course I've got the exhibition on Saturday, and of course, as I've mentioned many times, there'll be a video for that. Other than that, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, we're doing really well, and the views just gone through the roof as well in the last couple of videos, which is amazing. And I really appreciate all the support. It's been really nice talking to some of you on Facebook as well. I've had a couple of messages from people, we've had some nice chats about various model railway related things. So other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.